Hey! So I managed to get Blaze to be our surrogate again tonight, so we'll kick on in and see what shows up for you. Okay, so
it adds a real intensity, you know.
What's that?
The ooh of the table.
The table. Yeah. I go, rise and be well. Sorry. A little levity. Yeah. Hilarious. Okay. So, for a start, let's just see where we're at since last time. It's been a little while. And hold. Making sure I'm in. Okay. So minus all your supplements, minus any medication, minus any internal or external applications. Hold. Hold. Okay. So the adrenals are go, go, go. Hold. Survival's okay. Deep survival's okay. Hidden deep survival, not so okay. So, thank you for the reminder. With the deep hidden survival pattern, is there a psychological reversal? Want, need, think, safe, believe, deserve, trust. So there's a safety issue and a trust issue in relation to letting go of the deep hidden survival pattern. So your body is keeping you in survival really deliberately to keep you safe. So let's go. It is safe to let go of this problem and hold. It is safer to keep this problem. Hold. And the other one was trust. I trust I can let go of this problem. Hold. I trust it's better to keep this problem. Hold. Right, so the first one's straight psychological reversal. It's the opposite of what it should have been. But the trust, they're both locking, which means it's psychological confusion. Your brain wants it and it doesn't want it at the same time. So it's like your brain doesn't want to trust the future, it doesn't want to trust your body, doesn't want to trust the healing, doesn't want to trust that you'll ever get over it. And your brain doesn't think it's safe to get over it for some strange reason. But that's okay. That's what the brain does. Might just turn the aircon on.
No worries.
Okay, so going into the deep hidden survival. Oh, do we need more information? We need more information. So through a chakra, through a tuning fork combo, through a flower essence combo, flower essence. Okay, so bark, bush, bush. Okay, so Waratah energy is about, Waratah is about depression, and it's about quite deep depression that it's really hard to move on from, where your brain loses its ability to remember that, you know, it's sort of like it forgets that there was ever a good time in your life. It sort of forgets everything it knows and just assumes things. So it's like you just lose all ability to respond. So it's for black despair, hopelessness, inability to respond to crisis. The positives are courage, tenacity, adaptability, strong faith, and enhancement of survival skills. Yeah, right. And the just the affirmation at the beginning is saying that your body would like to hear it. Faith is the bind. Nope. Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark. Okay. Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark. Sorry, that's a little bit appropriate for what's going on in the world at the present. Faith, things will get better.
That's a good one.
And it's 6 drops of Waratah with this. So that's a fairly chunky dose.
Mm. Yeah, the bottles last a very long time, and those are small bottles.
Yeah, they do. They do last quite well. Okay, so where to next? So now into the deep hidden survival pattern? Nope, not yet. So where do I need to go? Do I need more information? Yes, I do. Hey, Tigger. So do I need a chakra? Do I need a meridian? Do I need an affirmation? I need an affirmation. So from which book? So from... What's that?
He just came over and licked my ear. So that's my dog, Tigger.
How old is he? About 3.5?
Yeah, 3.5. April 1st birthday.
Sure it is.
Oh, yeah. As near as I could tell. Got him from a rescue, so I think he was born before he was at the rescue. Not sure on the full tragic backstory.
Yeah, right.
His mother was one of those stolen puppy farm. I've got no idea. Yeah.
Interesting. The affirmation is about career. So I know you haven't been 100% happy in your career for the last little while. And I know that change is in your plans. So, however, subconsciously you're working towards that, or maybe you're at the conscious sort of space, or maybe you're just distancing yourself from what you're doing on a daily basis, but let's just have a look. So interesting that there's deep hidden survival patterns. So it could even be that something around the challenges or the unhappiness or the lack of support and just that whole work environment that isn't 100% optimal for you, that might be draining your immune system, draining your adrenals, stopping your body from being able to heal as well as it could otherwise if you were doing something you loved. So let's just have a look and see. So there's 40 different affirmations on here. We'll see which one your body needs. Okay, so the first one's about respect. I have respect for my workmates and they have respect for me. And hold. And hold. Okay, so that's third stage stress, chronic fatigue of your respect at your work, both by and for your work colleagues. So that's not a great place to feel. Now, obviously, respect is something, they may respect you and you may not feel it, in which case this is going to unlock. If you have felt abuse or trauma at work because of something that's been happening on a continual basis, obviously that can link into this. Or if you are just over it and you want to be out of there and you don't know how to make that move, this can show up. So third stage stress, so that's number 28. Okay, the next one's number 13. I am free to pursue the career path of my choice. I am free to pursue the career path of my choice. Hold. Hold. No, that's second stage stress. So there's still, so that one's quite active, but there's a lot of energy. So you must be thinking about this a bit at the moment. But basically, it's still in trauma. It's like that running on adrenaline around, right, I've got to make this happen. Is there another one? And even just enjoying your work. I enjoy my work. Hold. Hold. Second stage stress again. So it's overworking, you're really overworking in order to try to keep yourself up and running and enjoying yourself. So it's probably not coming easy is what that says. Sometimes once people kick into a day, they're absolutely fine, but the idea of it is nauseating or stressful or challenging.
Mm.
So for a start, that's messing with your neurolymphatics, which means the stress associated with your career at the moment, the stress of those hormones, the stress of those neurotransmitters is messing with your lymph. And of course, as women, we need really good lymphatic flow.
Mm. It's like the monkeys
Like the monkeys?
that are stressed.
Yes, the middle monkey syndrome. Absolutely. I heard a thing about the butterfly effect today. Have you heard
okay.
about that?
Yeah, one butterfly flaps its wings over here. There's a hurricane over there.
No, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah, that's the butterfly effect.
Well, another butterfly effect then, and sort of thinking about how we change ourselves to make us be liked or not liked or less of a challenge to other people. The butterfly effect is going back, different butterflies had a certain taste depending on the way they looked.
What?
And different animals knew which butterflies were tasty, and they would get to know, oh, that pink and purple one is delicious. So over a period of time, as the butterflies have often had a way of mutating their colours, changing their colours, a bit of a chameleon. So as they started to change their colours so that the brightly coloured delicious ones would start, and I don't know whether it was to do with bright colours or not, but the colour of the delicious ones started to mutate so that they looked more like the untasty ones to allow them to survive.
Yeah.
So that's the butterfly effect.
Okay.
So you can imagine in a work situation, it's about making yourself, you don't want people to notice you all the time if work's a challenge. You just want to get there, do your job, you know, without having any high stress or trauma.
The Butterfly Effect is also a cult classic movie about a guy, I think it was maybe an indie movie, and it was a dude who like managed to go back in time or something.
How old?
So he made changes to make his life better, but then it hurt his friends or something.
Yeah, right.
So he went back and he fixed it and made sure his friends had a good life. And then like his family was going to crap.
Yeah.
So he'd go back, he'd fix that one. And I think eventually he dies or something.
Yeah.
Mm. He like goes back and fixes everyone else's problems and then dies or something.
Yeah.
Because doing whatever the hell he's doing is like, you know, working his brain or something. It's one of those weird movies. Artsy. Art house.
Butterfly Effect.
Mm.
Any idea what year?
I don't know, like early 2000s? Like
Yeah.
2003 or something?
Hmm.
If I had to guess. They're starting to get a bit more edgy with the sex.
Yeah, right. Celestial circuit was just out of balance off to the right in relation to the work stuff, so therefore your body's really working hard to stand in your power and be able to do and be happy with it, but it's exhausting your nervous system. So I'll bring that back into center. I was listening to Dr. Carrie Madajay this morning, and she was talking about the Heart Math Institute and how they have measured our electromagnetic heart and how far the energy travels or is or moves or
every
something.
time there's a heartbeat.
No.
Or something,
It's more just the fact that our heart is actually an electromagnetic organ. So it's putting out a frequency. And when people check out the Heart Math Institute.
Yeah, it's about 120 BPM, and that's the frequency.
Yeah, good. So I've known for at least 15, 20 years. So when I was doing my Masters of Herbal Medicine, I was doing training in the heart, and at the time, and this is a long time ago, they believed that about 20% of the heart was actually brain neurons. So there's a lot, that's why there's such a heart-brain connection. and why we feel with our heart, why we know things, you know, and why we feel anxious about things that just don't feel right to us. So a weak person's electromagnetic field coming from their heart will still be about 6 feet. A strong person who's energized and vibrant and happy and healthy, I think she said 1.5 kilometers.
Oh, yeah.
And they've actually done studies, and I saw this on Dr. Joseph McCullough's site in the last few days. They've released studies showing that if, and I don't, but if I meditated for an hour a day in my house, then there's like a certain percentage, the people next door might be, and I can't remember the percentages, but the people next door are 20% happier and the people in the house next door are 6% happier. So it's because of that effect. I assume that heart energy. They didn't actually explain it, which is why I sort of discarded it and moved on.
Yeah.
I thought, well, my basic thought was, I'm not going to meditate an hour a day. And I moved on. Who's got time for those shenanigans?
Uni students.
People locked down.
Yeah. Nothing else to do.
Well, it would be an amazing gift to have lots of time.
I feel like time only goes so far, and I think willpower is a big deal.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. So for you, I might check your serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, melatonin combos and make sure they're all in relation to work changes. And I know it can't happen instantly, but we just might make sure, because this has shown up as a fairly major thing linked into your deep hidden survival patterns with this psychological reversal and psychological confusion going on. So let's check in relation to optimal dopamine. Dopamine's about motivation and getting off your tuchus and making sure something happens. So optimal dopamine levels. Okay. So work is depleting your serotonin levels, and it's making you, actually let me ask, focus on what you like, focus on what you don't like, focus on what's missing. Yeah, so it's making you focus on what you don't like and focus what's, you know, on what's missing in your work, career, life. Dopamine. Okay. In relation to despondency, sadness, depression, optimal dopamine levels. And hold. Negatory.
Damn you, dopamine.
So yeah, low, so fear, threat, danger. So of course when the adrenals are fearful, it will mess with your ability to create happy hormones, because your body doesn't want you to be happy, it wants you to be afraid and anxious. Otherwise you'll miss something and then something bad happens to us.
Yeah. If the cheetah is chasing you in the jungle and you divert energy from
CHEETAH, the cheetah.
Oh, okay, yes. If
Yes.
the jaguar is chasing you in the jungle, then, you know, you don't care too much about your happy lymph organs working properly.
Exactly.
You care more about getting enough adrenaline into your muscles and getting the blood flow going so that you can sprint. And the way way I've heard you describe it to me in the past is that unfortunately, when we're stressed out for any reason, it still kind of does some of this stress stuff.
It does. Well, stress isn't a bad thing. None of our core emotions are bad things.
No.
It's being able to get them under control and getting back to
Stress helps you get
balance.
stuff done. You know?
Like even anger, you know. Even anger can be a useful emotion when it's used well.
Yeah, you know, boxers.
You
You
might
know,
get-
a boxer that gets angry might throw a better punch and win the fight.
Well, I was thinking more if you're being abused at work at some stage,
Oh,
you stand up
right,
and
yeah,
say,
okay,
no,
yeah,
I'm not
right,
putting
yeah,
up
sure.
with it, and, you know, and stand up for yourself and go, not putting up with this any longer.
Yeah.
And sometimes with people who are abusive, they actually respond well to people who are just as strong. They have respect for that. Okay. And all other dopamine issues.
I was still working my way back from being chased in the jungle. I'm like, alright, punch man.
So next one I'm doing is oxytocin. Yeah, right. So the trust issues that were right at the beginning, they are messing with your oxytocin, so it's hard to feel. So oxytocin's about love, it's about believing we're loved, it's about happiness, it's about feeling that energy from those around us who share themselves with us and we love them. So oxytocin, trust and trust issues.
What is it they say? A 10-second hug will like double your oxytocin production or something?
Hugging's amazing. Who wants a world without hugging?
It's probably that electromagnetic heart thing
It probably is.
in part.
And you know, I know a lot of people in my field in natural therapies, they always hug heart to heart. So, you know, so left to left, and that way it's heart to heart, like that's a automatic thing to do. For many heart huggers.
Mm.
Optimal oxytocin levels, trust and trust issues, and hold, beautiful. And the reticular activating system's messing with the oxytocin as well.
The what?
Reticular activating system, it sits in behind the brainstem, and it, when new stuff is happening in our world, it controls what hormones we release depending on what it believes. So if it believes we're in danger, it will shut down. So with this one, when trust is down and when oxytocin's low, your body's believing it's in danger, so it releases noradrenaline, which is about long-term stress, and slows down the serotonin levels. So it doesn't want you to be relaxed and happy if it thinks it's in danger long-term.
I'm not currently in my safe Ooga Booga cave.
Yeah, ooga booga.
Therefore, I must be a little bit more vigilant tonight. I mustn't sleep well.
Yeah, because otherwise that's when the jaguar will
Ah,
bounce.
no, it's jaguar.
Exactly.
I shouldn't have had all that dopamine. Bloody
Oxytocin.
human body.
So complicated.
Transhumanists, they got the right idea, you know, put the chip in the brain. Stop all this crap.
It does make me wonder what they did with those prisoners, you know, back in the late 80s or something, where they, at the time they didn't really know what the cerebellum did, because the tissue in the cerebellum, which is about the size of a fist, it's all exactly the same, whereas there's other areas of the brain that have different types of tissue. Anyway, so the cerebellum, they sort of rolled it out, and this isn't exactly right, of course, but they rolled it out, they put a battery in there, rolled it back up. So people in prison who had, you know, the worst, you know, rapists and murderers and people who had been angry their entire life. And what they found was Yeah, right. So what they did was gave them like a little battery pack, so they could adjust their frequencies that was going into the brain, and that calmed down their anger by some huge amount.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a huge study, and I have not been able to find it on the net. I've actually looked a few times in the last 15 years. I must actually ask Charles Krebs, because, you know, he's still alive, but he's in his late 70s, and he's the one who told us about it. So I should get that information now. But yeah, he was saying that when the batteries ran out, they didn't replace the batteries, so these guys went back to normal.
Okay.
But most of them were the happy. It was about 80% of them were the happiest they'd ever been.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's to do with the electron. Oh no, that's the cerebellum.
Well, who knows? There's a whole bunch of weird stuff about the body.
And who thought of doing that?
Man, I got this great idea.
Yeah, let's unroll the cerebellum and put a battery in it, whack it back in the
Who
brain.
comes up with that? You can't make this stuff up. Yeah.
So interestingly now, with the oxytocin linking it with the reticular activating system, assuming long-term stress, slowing down the serotonin, the 10th chakra is now out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9's out there in the ether. The 10th is the connection between your karma, your past life, the cross-referencing, or that can of course be genetic lines. So when the 10th chakra comes up, there's a cross-reference to a previous genetic, inherited, past life, whatever. So I think I need a... Okay. So it's linking in through the temporal bones and the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus actually does make a bunch of oxytocin and serotonin. So in relation to any and all past life events, any and all past genetic connections. And hold. Okay. So this life, past life, inherited, past life, both of them. Okay. So on mum's side, on dad's side, so dad's mum's, dad's dad, okay? Going back further, yep. So dad's mum, dad's dad. So 3 generations going back on your dad's side, dad's mum, dad's dad, and 4 generations back on your dad's side, all the men. Do I need to go any further? Dads. No, it's not going back any further than that, so it's 4 dads back.
Not 4 dads' mum?
There was no mum.
Ah.
All dads. So energetically on that side of the family and all in the masculine energy. Okay.
Tigger, what the hell, buddy?
Okay, so we're going lung energy. Lung energy, large intestine. So there's some grief, guilt, regret, because both lung and large intestine, that's the yin and the yang, or yin and yang organ in relation to the metal element. Let me have a look. So this stuff can come down through the genes, and grief, guilt, regret can cause anything. So from a perspective on the Chinese medicine wheel, it can cause anxiety because, of course, when we're grieving, we don't want to go through the same thing again. So then we have that anticipatory anxiety or that anticipatory fear moving forward into the future because you don't want to lose anyone else or lose whatever it is that you've lost in the past that's made you, in that grief, guilt, regret. But the other thing it can do, lung, large intestine energy, also can drive straight into liver energy, which is about rage, anger, frustration. So therefore, sometimes when people are angry and frustrated, what you're not seeing in behind that is their grief, guilt, regret over something in the past, and they're angry. They don't want to go through it again. So let's have a look. So this isn't you. This is the stuff that's come down through your genes on your father's side. Okay, false pride, false modesty, contempt, scorn. Yeah, right, so some fairly big energy stuff there. Regret, self-worth, apathy, toxic shame, and feeling powerless. Okay, nothing big in there at all. So let me just ask, is that feeding into fear, anxiety through kidney, bladder, or is it linking into anger, frustration? So it's linking into anger, frustration through liver, gallbladder. Just hold on 1 second.